People in Athens clean up from an EF1 tornado. WAAY 31 reporters Paige, Meyer and Georgia Clark are standing by after talking with local leaders about what's next. And WAAY 31 evening anchor Tory Dunnan will have a live interview with Athens Mayor Ronnie Marks in just a few minutes. But first, we want to start with WAAY 31 Storm Tracker Chief Meteorologist Jeff Castle to get a look at your forecast. Now, Jeff, the weather there in Athens is rather uneventful and much calmer now. And I'm sure people there in Athens appreciate that.
Oh, absolutely. Certainly breathing a sigh of relief that this has come and gone. We're back to quiet weather. And also that it was not worse than it could have been. Again, different time of day, could have been a different story. Of course, coming through the downtown area when it did. Not a whole lot of activity at that point in time. I do want to take you back and share with you the information National Weather Service did find from this tornado. And it was, as we often talk about, one of those brief spin-ups. This was not on the ground for very long. It was an EF1 though, with winds peaking around 100 miles per hour, and those peak winds were actually noted here very close to the square. It was on the ground just under 4 miles, maximum width 160 yards. And the question a lot of people had, number one, why didn't the sirens go off? Well, that's because there was never a tornado warning. And then that brings up the question, well, why was there never a tornado warning? Well, sometimes these small and brief tornadoes are very, very difficult to detect on radar. And that's really the main reason why there wasn't a tornado warning issued. You know, I went back and looked at the data myself after we got the reports of the damage here, and I just did not see anything on radar that indicated that a tornado was moving through. And sometimes there are limitations to the technology, and the fact that this quickly developed and then quickly fell apart, it only existed for about 5 minutes, means that's very difficult for radar to pick up. Oftentimes with these type of tornadoes, they don't show a strong radar signature that we're used to seeing with a well-organized rotating thunderstorm, where we can track that rotation, see it change and intensify, and at that point, yes, you issue a tornado warning, but that was never the case with this. It really was one of those very brief and quick spin-ups and didn't last very long, and so in that case, the technology failed us. It just was not able to see this unless you had a radar basically right on top of Athens here in order to be able to pick it up at that instant. So that is why tornado warning did not come out. There was a severe thunderstorm warning, though, that was in place, and I haven't mentioned still the possibility as this moved through of a brief spin-up, so that is something that you just always have to be aware of. Even if there's not a tornado warning, severe thunderstorms can and sometimes do produce tornadoes with little to no warning. But again, fortunately, it was not any worse than it was here in the city of Athens. Quick look here at what we've got going on right now. There is nothing happening. WAAY 31 triple Doppler, all quiet. Temperatures are mild, still sitting around the 60-degree mark at this hour. We will gradually cool through the evening, so if you are going to be out, grab a light jacket. We'll see numbers dropping back through the 50s here in the next few hours under mostly clear skies. Back in just a few moments, I am tracking some colder weather, but also quiet weather as we ring in the new year. I'll have details on that coming up in your forecast. Right now, though, we do continue to check out the damage here in and around the downtown Athens area. I'm going to send things over now to Tory Dunnan with, again, a little bit more information on that, and also an interview with the mayor here in Athens. Tory.
There's still a lot of work happening right now. As you can see here behind me, we have utility crews working on power and also some of the damage sustained to these buildings. But the person everyone wants to hear from, of course, is the mayor. You know, walking around today, I have to tell you, people have said, wow, this cleanup has happened really quickly. Tell me a little bit about the efforts and kind of how this speaks to the community coming together so quickly.
Yeah, thank you for covering our story. And we have an amazing community. And the cooperation between our city workers, and the county commission, we all came together. We was here at 11:30 on Saturday night all the way through. I think I stayed like 3 a.m. and then the crews worked all night and all the next day. But it is absolutely amazing to see some of the huge trees. The 150 or 200-year-old oak tree was gigantic, and it's totally removed.
Where is some of the biggest damage and some parts of this area that'll really take time and a lot of money to clean up?
Yeah, I think one of the most devastating and heartbreaking things to me is our small business people, like the CEI bookstore that you see down here is totally destroyed. It looks as though the tornado hit about 3.8 miles down that way and followed this track, and you can pretty much see the damage to the CEI, and then it went over to hit the Veterans Museum.
Right.
And you've probably been there, but lots of damage of those, some HVACs, some HVACs that's blown off the roofs, and but we just got a lot of work to do. We've done a lot, and we've got to be there to support our local business people because they really are the heartbeat of our city. Like many cities.
One thing I've heard you talk about a little bit is the fact that this happened in the middle of the night. Well, no one likes to see this happen. This area has so many people around the holidays, and you've talked about the fact that if it had happened earlier in the evening or during the day, like it could have been much worse, even though people are dealing with devastation.
Well, and the other thing is if it hit a subdivision at 11:30 at night, when people oftentimes don't pay attention to the weather reports and they don't hear the alarms go off. And I don't think the alarm had went off the other night. This thing dropped down. We first thought it was like an airburst and then found out it was like a F1 tornado. But it is so typical. It hopped through here, but there were still a few young people, as I call them, out at some of the local pubs that were there. One young lady was getting ready to run to her car. They started pouring down rain. She backed away, closed the door, and in 15 seconds her car was destroyed. So, you know, the good Lord protects us, and we're very blessed. We got a lot of work to do, but we're very, very fortunate that we have no injuries, no fatalities, and we're a resilient community. We'll make it.
I really appreciate you taking the time. I know you have a lot on your to-do list, and like I said, walking around town here, people talk about how quickly this was cleaned up. It really is amazing to see. So thank you so much for your time. As you heard, there's still a lot of work to be done, like down here, that bookstore he was mentioning. There's also a memorial that was damaged by the tree. We want to go live now to Paige Meyer, who has more on that and what efforts it'll really cost to make this come back up. Paige?
Tory, I'm told that the large tree that used to be in front of the Limestone County Courthouse here actually landed on top of the Vietnam Memorial. Now, when people started beginning that cleanup process early Sunday morning, they amazingly found this stone, the actual memorial, undamaged. Now, the Limestone County Commission Chairman Colin Daly tells me in his 6 years on the commission, this is the second time he's dealt with a tree down at the courthouse. But this time, when he saw where the tree had landed, panic set in.
We started cutting into the tree, and all got to see it. It was just drove in the ground, we thought. So the closer we got, the more we realized it was not broke. So me and Representative Andy Witt, we sit there and help dig it out from under there, you know, and it warms your heart to know that things like that survived the storm, you know, because of the people's name that's on there that represent them, fought for our freedom and all.
Now, Commissioner Daly says the memorial will be put back in its place once they fix the landscape around the courthouse. But at the end of the day, he's just glad that no one was hurt in this storm. Now, coming up on WAAY 31 News at 5, we'll take a look at the damage that surrounds the Veteran Museum. But for now, reporting live in Athens with coverage you can count on, Paige Meyer, WAAY 31 News.
About a weather event like this is that it's going to take lots of time, money, and effort to really fix everything. In fact, just this building here behind us, there were bricks that flew off of it and went everywhere. We want to go now to Georgia Clark. She spent the day talking to people about fundraising efforts here in downtown Athens and where things stand with that. Georgia?
Yes, Tory. Well, Athens Main Street is a nonprofit that has helped many of the businesses here downtown, and their main focus is keeping downtown beautiful, which is a value that they've held before the storm and will continue to hold after this cleanup. Now, all of the money that they will be raising will go back into the community. Some of the money will go towards picnic tables and trash bins that Athens Main Street put in place here in downtown. But Executive Director Terry Richardson said their biggest goal is to fill the hole left by the 100-year-old oak tree knocked down by the tornado, which has shaded the square during hundreds of events and festivals. Richardson says it was hard to see all of this damage left behind, but she is grateful for the massive citywide effort to get it cleaned up.
Yesterday was a real coming together of people that support our downtown, the city of Athens, Limestone County Commission, it was a seamless effort. They brought all of their crews in.
Well, Richardson wants to remind everyone that plenty of these downtown stores and restaurants are still open. So she's encouraging you to come to the square, have a bite to eat, go shop local, either in person or online, to help these businesses keep their doors open. Now, they also plan to help any businesses in need apply for grants that could help them get their shops back on their feet. Now, if you want to figure out which stores are still open and where you can donate to the Athens Main Street Cleanup Fund, you can go on our website, WAAYTV.com, and we'll have all the information there. Reporting live in Athens with coverage you can count on, Georgia Clark, WAAY 31 News.
And as we wrap things up here, sort of one image I want you to see is the weather vane here on top of the Limestone County Courthouse. Kind of a symbolic image for people walking around as they're taking pictures of it today. Now, back here in North Alabama, Limestone County EMA is working to document the damage to see if Athens qualifies for any aid. The EMA is encouraging groups and individuals that want to help to give them a call. We have their office number right here on your screen. Of course, you can find that information on our website as well. We'll be out here throughout the evening. We'll tell you many more stories of people who are coming out here to help those who have had damage to their homes and businesses, and where things stand in Athens, really a community that's coming together during a tough time.